Hi friends, I'm Lori Darner and I'm here with my friend the Easter Bunny. We're here to invite you to our next Sensory Day, the Sensory Easter Party. It's going to be Saturday, April the 9th. We will be having crafts, snacks, and photos with my friend, the Easter Bunny. Please join us from 1 to 4 p.m. here at Oasis Church of Delaware, 20 Delaware. Reservations are required. Please contact me, Lori Darner, at 910-514-3518, or you can email me at ldarner@live.com. We look forward to seeing you here.
It's time for a wee bit of shenanigans. Are you ready to win a shiny pot of gold? It's time to throw green cupcakes at a tall, bald guy. So tell me, are you feeling lucky yet? Welcome to our Stepping Stones St. Patrick's Day special. Now, without further ado, here's the biggest leprechaun you've ever seen, the Ken.
So here's Josh. That's it. Yes, that's the one he wanted.
That's the thing I want.
Yeah,
All right,
he
cool.
did. Yep, he definitely wanted. And
Hey guys, I lost weight! I lost weight! I'm featherweight. This is great.
Well, I don't know about feather.
This is perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Like
Hey,
I have abs, you just can't see them.
You know that new political thing about being transparent. I think he took it a little bit too far.
Right. Okay. Here we go with the 3 questions and trivia, starting with number 1.
Is it number 1 or number 1?
Number 1. Okay, number 1. We'll start with D again. I like starting with D for some reason.
Starting with the letter D.
The letter D. Okay.
Okay.
What do you do to relax and unwind? What do you do to relax?
I just make sure Ken
and
leaves to
unwind?
get batteries. That helps.
That's it. You like how I'm holding up the bridge with my body, right?
I go away
great.
for 5 seconds.
Well, we skipped to the trivia question and we
no,
talked about the
it's
Hyde
good.
Riley. So
It's good. No.
gotta have
it's
something,
good.
you know?
Has any? Okay, so
But Ken's back. You can hear Ken.
yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I just only saw a bridge and then a head.
Okay.
Well, I told him he took that transparent government thing a little too far.
Wow. There are people everywhere all over the world wondering, What on earth are they looking at?
That was
today?
great. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go back to the question. Number 1, what do you do to relax and unwind?
Where are we going today? Who's first?
D.
What's on second?
I don't know. Who's on third?
Who's on first?
D's on. D's. Are D?
Yeah, we're going with D.
D. What are we going? What are we doing to relax, D?
Sit down and watch TV.
Sit down and watch
Sit
TV.
down and watch TV. Boy, D's exciting.
Like
isn't
it.
she? Kate. Draw. Glenn.
Watch Nigerian movies.
Watch Nigerian movies. Glenn?
I don't even know where.
What
to
is
go
wrong with
that.
you, Glenn?
St. Patrick's Day, and we're watching Nigerian movies.
They're Christian.
Oh, they're Christian. Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Connor.
Video
Connor's
games.
doing, just video
He's
games.
working his
Nice.
fingers. The thumb thing.
Pastor, hold on, Pastor. I'm sure Pastor's finally going to pick up the pace here with
Pick it up,
everybody else.
pick it
What do you
up.
got, Pastor? Goat herding.
Goat herding.
Leah, what do you do to relax?
Wow.
He writes.
Writing.
Good job, Angel. Donnie,
Angel's
what do
already
you do?
doing it, so.
Feed his pet alligators. Right.
That'll cause you to run.
Run. You
Run.
haven't run in your entire life. Donnie?
Get out of the house.
Get out
Just
of the
because
house.
walking on the track doesn't mean you're doing track.
That's
Lori?
right.
Coffee.
Coffee. That's what you
Coffee.
do to relax? And Harold, you got your own mic. You don't need me.
You know, if I didn't say this, people would be very upset with me.
Okay.
I ride roller coasters.
What a surprise.
You know, that's it. That's the roller coasters. Yeah.
Yeah, roller coaster.
Thing is, we don't ride them enough.
Yeah. You know,
I
I hate this time of year.
Oh, here we go.
It's, it's not even open yet. We will remedy that this year.
Okay.
I go to West Virginia. Can I answer? Is that okay?
Warning, Ken's having a moment.
Is it okay if I go to West Virginia to the mountains?
At least you didn't play the tiniest violin. You
I
played
couldn't
full
because they wouldn't hear
size.
it then.
Oh, okay.
I had to play a full size one. All right, Josh, you answer it.
So I sleep.
Not
Seriously?
Yeah.
Linda, what do you do to relax? I know what the answer is. Everybody in this room knows what the answer is, but the world doesn't know Linda's answer. What is the answer, Linda? She goes to the movies.
Yeah.
Not Nigerian
Yes.
movies.
Not Nigerian movies, though.
Movies.
Nay,
All
nay.
right. All right, run back over here.
Oh, running back over here.
Just like Baywatch.
The letter D.
Oh, Baywatch.
Yeah,
Okay.
Baywatch. Yeah. All right. Number 2. If
You
you
see
could,
my Baywatch? Go ahead.
No.
we're not watching that
No.
Bay. All right.
That
If
got
you could
canceled.
marry any celebrity, who would it be? If you could marry any celebrity,
Any celebrity.
any celebrity,
Celebrity D.
think about it. Give a
Dead or
good.
alive?
I mean, if you
let's
want to
go-
marry a dead one, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Knock yourself
That's
out.
fine. Yeah, dead or alive.
Does
You
he
won't
need
have to worry about him
does he
cheating
need a
on you, that's
pole?
for sure.
They might be dead after she dates him. But
That's
anyways,
true. What do you got?
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
He's still a ghost.
Exactly.
Kate. I don't know what an Alex Turner is.
Alex Turner.
Glenn, yours are probably all dead, but go ahead and take one.
Abstain.
I've never
Abstain.
met Obstain before. I'm sure she's lovely, though.
Was it Abstain or
He-
Obstain?
He's concerned somebody's watching.
Oh, excellent point. There'll be no Nigerian movies for that young man. I can tell
Apparently,
you that.
Nigerian movies have something to do with that.
Ryan Reynolds.
Seriously.
Connor? Connor.
Yeah.
All right, let's take Connor out back real quick.
Folks, we're going to have to go to Pastor's office.
Yeah, exactly.
Harold's going to
Yeah.
sing to you while we're gone.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. Yeah, we got plenty of those.
Yeah, we got plenty of
Leo,
commercials.
who are you marrying if it's... Pastor's not marrying anybody because he knows Chris is watching and he's not getting in trouble either. Leo doesn't want to marry any stars.
If you say Donald Trump, don't you dare say Donald Trump.
Why would he marry Donald Trump?
He'd be rich.
He could go for Ivanka and be rich.
Yeah, same thing.
Nobody?
Yeah, exactly.
Elvis.
There you go.
Donnie said Elvis. Thank you very much.
Wow.
I don't like
Who?
the tide turn. that's
Summer what?
going.
It's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
He
there's
wants to
been
do a
podcasts.
wrestler named Summer Rae.
Summer Rae, huh?
He's got nothing. That's probably a good thing. Lori, don't worry about your man being in the room. Just.
I'm already married to a star.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to throw.
Harold's
Wow.
a celebrity. Celebrity status. You have achieved it.
We should have airline bags available for those moments when you just can't take the schmooze anymore.
and you just.
Linda, who you
Hey,
got?
definitely I'm celebrity status. We know this.
Dwayne
She's
Johnson.
going with the rock. She
Wow.
smells what the rock is
He's
cooking.
cooking. Yeah.
Harold,
I'm gonna go with the new rookie star from the commercial we have in here, the one that plays my wife, who is my
Oh,
wife.
that's an excellent choice.
Yeah,
That is a good
That's
choice.
an excellent choice.
yeah, nice guess.
So my wife liked it and shared it. So that means she may be watching too, but
Uh-oh.
she can't get me out. I am already out.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
my girl's always been Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
She
nice.
just doesn't know she's my girl. My wife knows it, but Sandra doesn't know.
Right.
Does she know that you drive faster than 55? Because I remember that 55 exactly.
Yeah, she couldn't go. But that's why I had to leave her.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she wasn't fast enough. Shh.
Oh yeah, no Reba. What's up with that?
I can't bring her up.
All right. So,
Who are you marrying? Ryan Reynolds?
no. But
The
her
Joker.
personality and mine would go together so well.
Okay.
That and she's also beautiful, but that has absolutely
Nothing
nothing,
to
to
do
do
with
with
that.
it.
Getting on with it, son.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yes.
Isn't she a West Virginian? I think
Can
she
you
is.
imagine those dates? Like, it would just be insane.
Yeah, I can.
It
I've
would
been
be
from West
insane.
Virginia. I know all
Yeah,
about
but
that.
She can see right through you.
Right now. She can right
No,
now.
no. I think Jennifer Garner.
wait,
But I have no heart right
Wait,
now.
Hold
so
on.
it's okay.
Who does the credit card commercials?
That's
That Jennifer.
Garner.
That's Garner. Okay, you should go for her. She's West Virginia.
Oh.
Anyways, moving on.
You know the thing about this is the episode you're trying to get Josh a date. Is that
Oh.
see through? You know.
Is that see-through? No, no, we're not trying to do. Are we trying to do that? We're not trying to do that. What is this? What is
It's
going
like,
on?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, go ahead, John.
Not that quite
Question
see-through.
number 3.
Okay, number 3. This is my hardest question that I've asked in a while.
Hardest one. Okay.
All right. Which of these do you choose to disappear forever? Joe Biden is not the correct answer, although it is a good answer.
It's an excellent answer, but it's not the
it's not
answer.
correct. But Facebook is going to fact check us here in
I
about
doubt
30
it.
seconds. 30 seconds. We've now been banned. Okay, anyways. So which of these do you choose to disappear forever? Mac and cheese,
Oh no.
cheese fries,
Oh no.
or grilled cheese?
Oh no.
One has to go. One has to go.
Dee Dee.
It does.
Grilled cheese.
Dee
I mean,
says
if you have to
grilled
think about
cheese?
it, that's probably
What?
I know, it's tough.
Oh.
Grilled cheese, mac and cheese, or
How about toe cheese?
no
Toe cheese. Belly button cheese? Oh, no. Oh, no. Not to...
Katie says cheese fries.
Foul cheese.
Wow, cheese.
Glenn, y'all, we are
sorry.
going through the crowd here, and
We
y'all
are.
are interrupting.
I'm very sorry.
Glenn had an excellent answer too.
Although it's my segment, but I'm interrupting.
cheese fries.
Cheese fries.
Connor, mac and cheese. Well, you're a hater. Oh, stop it! You had 3 choices. Pick one
one.
of the 3.
He's
Leo.
decided not to play.
Leo says cheese fries. Angel says grilled cheese. I can feel it. She's not gonna say it, but I'll say it for her. Cheese fries. No, you have
Nothing.
to
You
give
have
up
to
one
pick
of the
one,
3,
good sir.
Riley.
You have to.
And by the way,
Getting rid of grilled
Lori
cheese.
is writing down the answers of these, so
Ooh.
that might be the one thing that doesn't show up.
Grilled
for now.
cheese. Donald and Riley said grilled cheese.
Wow.
Linda says grilled cheese. Cheese fries.
Cheese fries.
Wow. So I'm in a dilemma because I love.
It
all
is a tough
3.
question. I knew us foodies would have an issue with
A
this one.
foodie's question for sure.
Yeah.
So you take grilled and you put it with,
Yeah.
and then you.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's lots of other things to put. There's lots of other things to put on French
Somebody
fries.
is still stuck on Ryan Reynolds.
So Harold's right. I can forget the cheese and just put chili on my fries. So I'm gonna go cheese fries. Excellent choice, Harold. He thought it through.
I did.
If you think it through, you can put so much more on cheese fries than you can on a grilled cheese.
That's right.
And we all love grilled cheese.
So I love mac and cheese. I can't get rid of that. I love grilled cheese. I could eat like easily seven to eight sandwiches.
So you gotta kick the fries
I gotta
to the
kick
curb.
the cheese fries
Kick
out,
the fries to the curb.
even with the bacon bits.
Oh, see but you can add that with the chili,
Or with gravy.
gravy,
Yeah.
and bacon bits.
There you go.
Bam.
All right, that's good. All right.
Poutine at its best.
Do you want to do an
There you
introduction
go.
again for the trivia? Or are you good?
Am I doing what? Who to
The
what?
trivia, the trivia.
Well, nobody's got it for the last 3 weeks. I don't think anybody's playing.
Wow, this one's actually a pretty good one.
Oh, you got it. So we're gonna do
And
a
it's
lead
simple.
in the $10 or the $5.
I think we're going back to like a dollar.
A
'cause Nobody's
dollar.
answering it.
$1.
It goes down $1.
$1.
How much is that head in the
Oh,
window?
okay. So nobody's answered
I
it. So we're
bid
gonna
it
stick
for
at
$1.
$10.
Oh, $10. Ooh.
$10.
All right. Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook,
$10.
YouTube, you paying attention?
$10.
$10.
Oh no.
I'm leaving again.
Okay.
All right. For
Here we
the
go.
$10 question, here's Josh.
Oh, really, me?
Go
I
ahead.
get to ask it?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe.
Well, it's been
All
fun,
right,
guys.
Sure.
All right. So, here we go. What kind of room doesn't have any windows? What kind of room doesn't have any windows? Thank you.
All right.
Again,
Wow.
it's a pleasure every
Wow.
time.
No, wow.
Wow. So we have a commercial, then we'll go back to Ken in the opening segment since we now have new batteries. So
Ew, you made that squeaky sound. You
squeaky
got too
sound,
close to
yes.
the speaker.
All right, we're here on Wednesday night, Katie. Isn't this exciting? Hey, everybody, it's Cushy coming to you from Stepping Stones in Oasis Church. Just wanted to kind of remind you, I haven't done one of these in a while, and as you can see, I'm in an exciting place, an arcade. What could be better than an arcade? Well, I can tell you, Wednesday nights at Stepping Stones. See, because at 6:30 we meet and we ask teenagers to come and join us. We've got food. That's right, food. We've also got games. I've got a PlayStation that we hooked up. We've got air hockey. We've got ping pong. We've got throw Donald in a basket. I mean, we've got things that kids can do. So if you know a teenager, have a teenager, or want to get rid of a teenager, bring them here on a Wednesday night at 6:30. Stepping Stones, we go 6:30 to 7. That's food and fun. At 7 p.m., we go live. Well, what does live mean? Live simply means we get in front of this green screen, have a blast, do some really cool things, have some trivia questions. We have a great message every week, and we're just adding new stuff week after week. Teenagers can get involved with the advertisements. Teenagers can get involved with the green screen, acting things out. We really got a lot of things coming. We've got a teen carnival that'll be coming in the fall. We really want you to keep an eye out for that. But most of all, get your teenagers out here. Oasis Church, Wednesday night, 6:30, 2200 Glasgow Avenue in Newark, Delaware, 19702. Again, 2200 Glasgow Avenue. If you haven't been out here yet, we're looking forward to seeing you. If you've been out here, but it's been a while, get back. Let's have some more fun, and let's enjoy Stepping Stones every Wednesday night. Again, this is Cushy. Have a great rest of your day.
In Timon Park, and this is also in Dublin, and it's time for Bob the Wonder Wheel. Now, Harold, you can see Bob better than I can.
Well, I can't see the letters either, but it'll tell us what they win in the big white board.
That's right.
There's
So
letters?
If you're
There's little letters
watching,
in there.
if you're watching, and I know the three of you are, if you're watching down in the
The big white thing, yep. That'll say
It's straight up.
you won
the
a.
box, it'll tell you what you win. So who's tonight's contestant? You know who tonight's contestant is? It's the Bearded Wonder. And I'm not talking about the old Bearded Wonder. I'm referring to the bearded Wonder on the back there, Mr. Donnie Campbell.
Mr. Donnie Campbell.
Donnie Campbell
All right.
is tonight's contestant. I don't think he's been a contestant yet.
I don't think so.
Has he? Linda, stop stealing the thunder.
Has he?
Linda, have you been a contestant?
Thunder. It's raining.
Okay.
has,
So it's
okay.
back to Donnie.
So it's back to Donnie.
I mean, who else are you going to give it to?
All right. So,
Dee's watching stuff on her phone she shouldn't be watching. I don't know what that's all about.
so
All right, spin her away. Let's see what Donnie gets. Almost like you're there, isn't it? It stopped. You won the face mask.
the face mask.
I have no idea what the face mask is, but
You told me to put it on here.
did I?
Yeah.
What's the face mask, Kate? What's that mean? Is Donnie's face
Is
going
it,
to be
is, it one of
beautiful?
the, is it one of those like nighttime face masks?
Oh,
his
Donald,
eyes.
you are good.
Face
Donnie, you're going to
treatment.
look phenomenal. Your eyes will no longer be puffy. Your face will gleam. It'll gleam. Like you'll walk in the room and go, there's something different about you.
Linda's got puffy eyes tonight.
Oh, wow. He just
He's
threw her
wanting-
under the
no,
bus
no,
and
he's
drug her
wanting-
down the
He's
street.
just telling you he's gonna share.
Man.
Effect on her, Don.
He said he's gonna share. That's all.
It's all the drugs.
All right, well, that's our contestant, and he's won a face mask. And next, we're going to send him off to a spa because that's going to help too.
Yep.
I think. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'm sure we're going to another commercial, correct?
Yes.
Well, let's drop that commercial.
He can do that for me? Really? So I can be saved?
Who are you talking to?
Joseph from Arimathea.
At 3 in the morning? Who is this?
Joseph from Arimathea.
What are you wearing, Joseph of Arimathea?
A robe?
She sounds hideous.
Well, he's a shepherd, so.
Would you like to be saved?
That was one ugly shepherd, I'll tell you.
I'm more concerned about the guy holding the sign.
Wow. Put him out there.
We'll see him later, though.
I
We-
threw you under the bus,
Well,
Riley,
you
didn't
know,
I?
we did update his sign.
We did update
We
his
did
sign.
update the sign.
That's true. Hey, you're more famous than we have now, Riley. People are going to be wanting your autograph. There'll be ladies lined up out in the parking lot. Pastor Jim's going to have to pray over them. It'll be crazy. It's utter chaos. So if you want to see Riley, 2200 Glasgow Avenue on a Wednesday night, he'll be here. And by the way, he's not wearing blue again, folks.
Oh.
2 weeks in a row, he's not wearing full blue. So proud of you, Riley. It's a 12-step program. All right, so let's get into it. This is the last of the series tonight. This came because Pastor gave a great message on Sunday, and it kind of triggered something, and I didn't think about it until it triggered something on Sunday, and so I had to rewrite everything. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. But that's how it works, right? You get an idea, and God goes, yeah, it's a great idea. It's really nice, but here's what I really want you to talk about. So that's where we're going to go tonight. So I put a different title on. Harold put a different title. What did I say on your on that one, Harold? Our
Title is
plan.
Our plans.
God's results.
God's results.
So I did have a title tonight, but that's because, that's who I am. I put desire versus plan, which is still going to be the same thing. I'm going to get to it differently. Leo, wake up. Goodness gracious, son. I haven't even started talking yet, and you're already sleeping. My heavens. So we've been talking about serving. Different ways to serve, who to serve. What is going on in the back there?
We got a disco ball back here.
You can't wait till we get.
And
I
a
can't
DJ.
wait till we get a camera that can rove. It'll be on then. Okay, so let's get into it. The thing that really triggered it, Sunday morning, Pastor was talking about. He brought up Mary Magdalene, and how Mary Magdalene was part of a plan that ultimately, if you knew Mary Magdalene, you wouldn't have even assumed she would be a part of that plan. She was a woman possessed with 7 demons. One's enough. Like, can you imagine 7? I have a hard enough time talking to the one that's in my head now. If I had 6 other ones, I mean, it'd be confusing as all get out. But Mary Magdalene had 7, and of course she was cleansed from that. But the neat part is she ended up being one of the first ones to the tomb. She got to see something that most of us never got to see. We hear about it, and we know it happened, but she was there. So that kind of triggered me into serving, and kind of how our serving typically starts with our desire to serve, but our will is involved too. And most times what will happen is, if God wants the glory, he changes how the results happen. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, but before we do that, I want to go to, if you're following along and you're in the Bible, James chapter 4. I think I read this last week, and I really, really like this because it sets us up. Chapter 4, verses 6 through 10. It's going to tell you how you're going to serve, or how you should serve. Chapter 4, verse 6 says, "But he gives greater grace. Therefore, he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Therefore, submit to God, but resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, double-minded people. Be miserable and mourn and weep. Your laughter must change to mourning, and our joy to sorrow. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you." Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this evening, Lord. Thank you so much for giving Lori the ability to feed us in such an amazing way tonight. Thank you that we could have fun being over in Ireland. And thank you for all the joy that we have putting this production on. Lord, now I just ask that you go through this message. Let us hear the things that you would have us to hear. Lord, may you pour out, and may I just step back. And I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Excuse me. So before we serve, we have to humble. Clearly, we have to humble because it says it twice. But therein lies the problem with the will. So let's do a couple of things. I wanted to get a couple of examples for us to focus on about how our plans don't necessarily match what God's results are going to be, because our plans typically have some form of our glory. The results that we do, we serve, whatever, typically come down to our glory. And every example I'm going to give you tonight, God fixes that little problem and brings about his glory. So where are we going to start? Well, let's start with Jephthah. This is one of my favorite stories in the Bible and does not get talked about enough. But Jephthah is part of, if you go to the book of Judges, chapter 11, Jephthah is born of a lady of the lesserness, we shall say. That's pretty good, wasn't it? That's clean, wasn't it? You should be proud of me. Pastor's in the back going, really? Huh? Is it? What do you want me to say what she is? She was a lady of the evening. Thank you, Pastor, for cleaning that up for me, because I had other ideas. So Jephthah was born from a lady of the evening, and then his brothers were born, and of course, because he was born of the lady of the evening, they didn't consider him blood, and because he wasn't blood, what did they do? Well, the same thing that happened to Joseph happens to him. They kick him to the curb. So Jephthah heads off, and Jephthah was a great warrior, a very strong man, knew how to fight, knew how to take care of himself, and he was joined by a group of lawless men who they basically went about and did what they had to do. If they wanted it, they got it. They took it. However, God's always working on Jephthah, and his brothers come back. What a shock. His brothers come back and say, you know, Ammonites are about to come in and take over, and the Israelites are in trouble. Will you fight for us? So Jephthah, in his infinite wisdom, says, well, I will if you make me judge. So at this time, judge would basically be like a king. He would rule over the Israelite people. So he says, if God delivers me and delivers us, then I want to be judge. And everybody, oh, okay, sure, you can be judge. But Jephthah goes one step farther, and we've all done this. He makes a vow to God. And he says, Lord, if you will get me through this victory, if you will grant the Israelites victory and our group victory, then whatever comes out of my house, first I will do as a burnt offering to you in honor of you. The sad part about this is Jephthah learns a lesson that God has a different plan. And the plan is, I'm going to get my glory, and you're going to have to go through something you didn't expect. So Jephthah goes off. He is victorious. He tears those Ammonites up and comes back home victorious. And as he comes home and he's walking down, it's almost like the Gladiator movie. You know, when Russell Crowe is running his fingers through the wheat, and he looks and he sees coming out, and all of a sudden he sees his child is the first thing. Yeah, sadly for Jephthah, his child is the first thing. His daughter comes out of the house with a cymbal, or what are not symbols, but the timbrel, is that what it's called? Timbrel, and she's excited. Her dad's come back victorious. She knew he'd come back victorious, and that's what happened. The sad part is that she didn't know about the vow. And so Jephthah has to explain to his one and only daughter that I made a vow to God. And God will be glorified. She, in her infinite wisdom, says, well, please give me time to go and mourn with my friends, and we will honor what God says. Now, theologians like to argue about whether he actually burned her as an offering. He did not burn her as an offering, but he did offer her as a sacrifice, and she understood what that meant. Basically, what it meant was she was not going to have children. So how does that affect Jephthah? There's no lineage left. He will reign for 7 years, but when he's done, there is no one to take over. In a lot of things, especially with pharaohs, you would always there would be a firstborn son, and that firstborn son would be the one that would take over. In this case, there's no son, there's no grandson, there's no lineage. God was honored because the Israelites won. God was honored because a vow was made and it was taken care of. But Jephthah's idea of ruling may not have ended the way he wanted to. It's a great example of what it should be. So with this, Jephthah wanted to rule and Jephthah wanted to win. Those were his personal desires. God wanted a sacrifice, and God gave him a short rule, and that was his glory. Now, if we shall go to our second one. This one's a little more famous than Jephthah. Actually, he's a lot more famous than Jephthah. If you go to Acts chapter 9, You're going to read about some guy, I don't know, what's his name again? Paul, that's right. Some guy named Paul. Well, in this he saw in chapter 9. I'm not reading through chapter 9, folks. What I'm going to do is tell you that's where you want to go. Acts chapter 9 will give you the story of the changing of Saul to Paul.
Paul Revere?
Not Paul Revere, but thanks for asking.
Oh.
The red
And we
coats are
gave
not
him a
coming.
microphone.
The red coats are not coming.
Yeah, I know. So the redcoats are not coming. But in this case, Paul is set out to basically kill and persecute Christians. He goes before the head of the church and basically says, give me some papers and I'll go after these guys. And he sets off on his way to dominate and destroy and end Christianity the best way he knows how. And that's with force and with other things. However, his ambition, of course, is going to be changed again because God's glory will come forth. He serves, but his intentions were different. Just real quickly, it says, meanwhile, Saul was still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord. And he went to the high priest and requested letters from him to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any men or women who belonged to the way, aka followed Jesus, that he might bring them as prisoners to Jerusalem. And as he traveled and was nearing Damascus, a light from heaven suddenly flashed around him. Falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? So Paul's intention is his glory. He's going to go get the letters. He's going to go and take the Christians down. Anybody that's in or follows the way, he wants to destroy them. And quickly we see here that God has a plan for him, because as he's on the road to Damascus, a giant light hits him, and he basically hits the ground, and he hears a voice talking to him, and the voice is asking, what are you doing? Why are you persecuting me? And Saul, in utter disbelief, is still listening to this voice that says, I am Jesus. Well, actually, he says, who are you, Lord? He says, I am Jesus, the one you are persecuting. He replied, but get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and I know if you really study it, most people will, there were men with Paul. They didn't hear the exact words, but the amazing thing was they heard the voice. They heard something that Paul heard. Now, I would imagine it wasn't audible to them, because if they did, their heads would probably explode and, that'd get ugly. So they take Saul to Ananias. And Ananias has talked to God, or has already talked to God, and God says, listen, there's a man in the city named Paul, or by the name Saul at that time. He hadn't been converted yet, Pastor. Still Saul. He says, go meet with him. And Ananias, this is one of the few times where someone questions God and lives to tell that. Because most times if you question God, the results weren't typically very good. Is that not true, Moses? Moses nodded. He saw if you go down, Harold. He was there.
Real quick.
But Ananias doesn't question him in a terrible way, but he basically says, I heard things about this man Saul. I heard that he persecuted Christians and he went after those who would be following you. And God basically tells him, I have a better plan. So I need you to go and talk to him. And he does. And as he talks to him, the scales fall from Saul's eyes, and he becomes Paul. At that point, praise Jesus, I finally got to Paul, and I can keep saying it. And then Paul goes on to lead the church in a new way. But from new sight to the date of last breath, Paul will be put in jail multiple times. He will be beaten. He will be shipwrecked. He will have health issues. At one point, he talks about a thorn that's been in his side, which we all assume to be a health issue that he's always had. He will be isolated and alone often, many times sending out the men that walked with him to other cities, other towns to speak the word. He was on constant travel, and in all of his actions, and all of this, his actions brought God the glory, despite his original intent to bring harm. Again, Paul's decision turns out to be God's glory. And the last one here we talked about in Sunday school, and I'm sure everybody knows who this person is, but again, the great thing about the Sunday school lesson was we only talk about the fish part and we leave it alone. Let's go to Jonah. If you go to the book of Jonah and you're in the chapter, and Jonah's always in the middle. Why has he got to be that small one in the middle? By the way, all of these small books in the back, they're prophets. They all have small little books, some of them a little bigger than others, but there's Jonah. He's stuck between Obadiah and Micah. I don't know why he's hiding out there, Lori, but that's where he is. Anyways, Jonah. So Jonah's a prophet. God's using Jonah to go and deliver messages to different places. But one day, God says, you know what? Jonah, I need you to go to Nineveh. And Nineveh would basically be, Harold, I'm going to use your city. It'd be like I tell Josh, I need you to go to Chicago in the worst part of town, and I need you to tell them.
Well, you got to say why, though. I mean, come on.
I'm about to.
Okay.
What do you mean, why? Oh.
Okay, why is it bad? Because Chicago's got a lot of good stuff there.
Sure they do, but I'm sending them to the bad
Nineveh was
section.
terrible.
I'm sending them to whatever bad section. What's the worst section in Chicago?
Well, it used to be Cabrini Green before it was destroyed. But
So I just sent Josh to Cabrini Green. Since it's not there, that's a good example. And I say, Josh, I need you to go there, and I need you to tell them they're wrong. Every last one of them is a sinner. I need you to bring them to a knowledge of what I'm saying. Got that?
Give me a tank.
Unfortunately, you can't have a tank.
Oh.
God tells Jonah the same thing. Go to Nineveh. Nineveh is no more is considered one of the worst people. They're sinning left and right. They're doing the things that they aren't supposed to. But Jonah's a prophet of God. So what does Jonah do? Well, the same thing any of us would have done. He got on the boat and went to Tarshish. Because why go to Nineveh? Now, I'm not going there to get beat up. I'm not going to get there to get shot. Josh needs a tank to go to Chicago Cabrini Green. Can you imagine what Jonah would have needed?
Yeah, why go to Nunya?
Yeah, Nunya. No, he went to Tarshish.
Oh, Tarshish.
Tarshish. Glenn was there. He could probably pronounce it better than we could. Anyways, he gets on the boat. And, of course, most of us know this story, but some of you may not. So I'm just going to tell you really quick. I'm going to bring it down in a nutshell. He's on a boat. As he decides that I'm going to go downstairs or under the boat. What's the hull? A hull, right? Thank you. Man, I'm glad Glenn's here.
The lower deck.
I don't even know what the boats are. He goes to the hull. And in the hull, well, he falls asleep. However, the problem is, while he's sleeping, there's a storm that's blowing. And up top, all of the men that were on the boat are suddenly, they're freaking out. The waves are getting bigger. The wind's blowing harder. The ship's starting to break apart. And they're wondering, because, they all serve multiple gods. At this time, this was an area where multiple gods were in play. And they're all laying on the deck praying to their other gods. Probably 3 of them are green, I bet, in the face, hurling over the edge. Another one's probably strapping himself to the pole where, I'm not going, the mast. One's a sailor.
Jonah's a heavy sleeper.
yeah, he must be because he's not awake.
Jonah has not moved yet. So they're up there, they're casting lots. Whose fault is it? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing's happening. And suddenly they go down and they get Jonah. Hey, thanks for joining us, Riley. Good to see you again. They bring Jonah up out of the hull and they're like, you do see what's happening here, right? And, it's basically, he says, he's looking at them. They're panicking. And he basically says, pick me up and throw me into the sea. Why does Jonah say, pick me up and throw me into the sea, Donald?
He was suicidal?
No.
Oh.
What? No. But, that's as good a reason as any. So Jonah knew what he had done was wrong to begin with. He knew when he got on the boat and went to Tarshish, he was wrong. But he's still a prophet, still has to serve God. He knows where this all came from. Throw me over the boat. And if you throw me over the boat, guess what? I'm the one to blame. This storm it's not against you, it's against me. Nevertheless, the men rowed trying to get back to land because they're men and you can't tell men anything. And so suddenly the sea was raging more and more, and then they're like, so they called out to the Lord. I think that's funny. They call out to the Lord. And they say, don't let us perish because of this man's life, and don't charge us with innocent blood, for you have done just as you pleased. That's when they decide, okay, want to throw you over the boat? We'll throw you over the boat. They throw him over the boat, Sure enough, what happens? Storm stops. Calm as glass. The problem was, though, the men didn't think this through. They kind of threw, before they threw Jonah over, they threw everything that they were carrying over, which basically meant there was no profit from this. But there is. This is God's glory. So they picked up Jonah and threw him into the sea, and the sea stopped raging. Now, this is the part that I love, and this is the part that we talked about on Sunday, that I never looked at it from this point of view. But verse number 16 says, the men feared the Lord even more, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows. And then along came the fish, Donald, swallowed Jonah up, and away he went. No, oh, yeah, right? So Jonah's in the whale for 3 days and 3 nights, and he probably looked really good, smelled really good, had good color, skin color was good. He had sushi. I mean, those of us that love to eat sushi, it's perfect, right? Just cut off a little here, cut off a little there.
It'd be a better story if they threw him off the boat and then the whale ate the boat.
Well, no.
No,
I think
I'm getting a
you know,
no.
but the good thing about that, Ken, was the fact that, you know, he tried to run from God and ended up saving people anyway.
That's what I want to get to. See, that's why Harold's back there. That's why Harold's back there. That last verse, that one I just read, is salvation. We have an example of being wrong, coming to understand that we're wrong, and God ultimately gives salvation. Not to Jonah, because Jonah didn't say, I'm sorry. Even when he's in the fish, he doesn't say, I'm sorry. He takes a little bit more beating before Jonah gets to us. But you're exactly right. His calling was to bring a message. But when it gets tough, he goes in a different direction. Now, amazingly, again, Jonah does recognize this is my fault. And he tells him to throw it over. But despite Jonah choosing to run, God brings salvation. Storm is breaking up the ship, and the men know to call to the one and only God. God's glory comes to the men. God's direction comes in a fish, and correction was made in the way of the fish, and new direction done for all God's plan. When Jonah was thrown off the boat, God's going to change Jonah's direction ultimately right then and there. Because he chose to run, God says, no, you're still going to go to Nineveh. You're still going to serve me. But in the midst of that, as Harold says, salvation is given and God's glory is already done. 3 examples of men that served, maybe not necessarily the way we would think of a church person serving, but ultimately, they serve for God. And God gets the glory in everything. So I wonder, how are we serving today? So you find a choice, you find a connection, and then you find a new correction, and then you find a new direction. That's the same way we work in the Christian church. The first thing is we choose a direction. We choose our own free will, and usually that gets us in the wrong spot. But then ultimately we have a correction in Jesus Christ. We have the ability to choose him to take away our sins from the cross. And then we're given a new direction that says, go ye therefore and preach the gospel of Christ. And it isn't going to be easy. Just ask Peter. Ask Paul. Anyone who served in the New Testament will tell you quickly it wasn't easy. I mean, Peter was crucified upside down. I don't know about you, but straight up and down would be bad enough. Upside down is a little more.
It was his choice too, wasn't it?
It was his choice. He chose to be upside down because he felt that it would take away the honor and the glory from Christ's crucifixion. So people like to say that you can't change someone. I hear it all the time. Well, they're going to be who they are. You can't change someone. Well, God can. And in every illustration that we have tonight, God did. Whether he changed the individual directly, whether he changed direction so the other individuals are affected, God still can make that change. I've mentioned this man several times, but one of the deadliest people that have been on the planet is still serving time right now, and that's the son of Sam is in prison. However, he's been converted. He's a Christian now. He has his own ministry, and he teaches prisoners while in the prison about Christ and how they can serve when they get out. They have lessons they have to do, and they have things that they have to solve. But he's refused parole because he knows that's where God's got him for a reason. Same thing with Paul in the prisons. When the doors were open and the jail cells are there, and the jailer comes running in and he thinks he needs to kill himself and run himself on his sword because he believes all the prisoners are gone, and they're in there singing. Those are the moments where God is in control and we are not. And I asked, and I hope that from all of this, when you're serving, if you are a Christian and you're serving, then serve for the glory of God and leave your glory out. If you're a person that serves others but doesn't have Christ in your heart, I can say that it's fine that you're serving them, but whose glory are you serving? If we're here on a Sunday morning and we're supposed to be praising God and singing songs and praying and having fellowship, then that's what we ought to focus on, and not focus on what Susie's wearing and where Johnny came from and who does this and who does that, because honestly, that's not God's glory. When we come together on a Wednesday night and we have the teenagers here and we have the adults here that help out, we spend hours upon hours running the lights and the wires and putting TVs up and cameras up so you can see this. Why? Because we care enough that we want to send a message out to you. If you don't know Christ, you can serve until you're blue in the face, but ultimately, who are you serving? Are you looking for the glory for yourself? Or would you like to serve a risen Savior and give him all the glory? We're coming up on Easter. Pastor called us Easter people, and I love that. We ought to be Easter people. We ought to be the ones that show up at the tomb and recognize that not only did the crucifixion happen, but the glory of the Lord happened, and he was risen again. We don't serve someone still in a tomb. We serve someone where the stone's been rolled away, and Christ has walked from the tomb, and death was defeated. You accept Christ as your Savior, you defeat death. He stands as an advocate for you. And when you serve, maybe sometimes we serve selfishly. Sure, we're human. But again, our choices doesn't matter because God's going to ultimately get the glory. When we're all standing there in front of the judgment seat, the great thing is I have an advocate for me. You're coming up on Easter, and this is a time when churches fill up. Easter and Christmas. Easter and Christmas. You could set a clock by it, Easter and Christmas. You know that if the clocks move forward, we're about to get busy on a Sunday morning. But for what reason? Maybe this year you can become what Pastor called Easter people. But you serve it all year long. Your life demonstrates a risen Lord. The glory that you do and everything that you do goes to God. And ultimately, your salvation gets you eternity. I thank you for all of you that watch on a Wednesday night. I appreciate you following through this last series of serving. We will be going to a new series next week. We also are building towards our next big food event, which is May the 4th be with you. So you think this is cool. Some of the backgrounds we'll get for that night are going to be sweet.
Do I get to wear a stormtrooper?
Well, if I can find some stormtrooper helmets, I want a Vader.
No, you can't be Vader.
I call Chewbacca.
No, you can't be Vader.
Why can't I be Vader?
You don't have the voice.
Isn't
There's Chewbacca, though.
Isn't that what you're for?
Oh, man.
I can.
Well, you got that down, but you don't.
I got that.
You got the James Earl voice
Yes.
down, though.
D, you can get dressed up every day.
You know, I think she needs to get the Princess Vespa earmuffs.
So listen, folks. Yeah.
You don't know about Spaceballs. So.
I'm sorry, Dee Dee's over here. If I'm pointing this way, she's really okay. Never mind. Let it go.
She's sitting on the rock there. See?
She's sitting on the rock. That's
the
Dee on
ledge.
the rock.
Yeah.
We got the back of her head.
Right over here, and there's some people that are gathering around that beautiful.
That's all of
orange
us.
Building. That's us. Okay. So let's run our last commercial, Harold, and then we'll finish up and get everybody off of here.
We're all gonna die!
Hey, everybody! Why don't you come out here and join us? We're going to do what is known as a roller coaster symposium. And you're going to say, well, what is that? Well, it's when all of us get together and go to the amusement parks and have an awesome day. May 14th is going to be the first roller coaster symposium. We're going to head to Dorney Park up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We're going to meet here at the church. We'll leave at 8 a.m. So if you want to go and enjoy the chaos that is one of our roller coaster symposium days, come on out and join us. Let us know. We'll be happy to get you in, and we're going to have a great time. And just remember, it's scary!
I love it. I
It's
love it. I love
beautiful.
it. So we're going to finish up in County Cork, Ireland. I absolutely love these houses. Not only do they paint the house, but they paint the chimney to match the house. I got to move there. Like, I just got to move there.
If it's cork, then why isn't it cork on the street?
Why isn't it Cork what?
Why isn't anything made out of cork?
Well, because in that place, Harold, and that's an excellent question. In Cork, they're right by the water, and if you build it in Cork, then the buildings will blow up.
They'll all just float away.
Yeah, and then you're
They'll be
useless.
bobbing like bobbers.
The people
You'll
that live
have
in those
Father
houses.
Patrick sitting there in his Cork building, floating away, and then, what on green earth happened to my house? And then and away it'll go. You know.
Do you think the people that live in those houses wear the same color clothes?
I doubt it.
That would be color coordination.
I
gone
doubt.
wild.
Well, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could like wear that yellow and then hide against the wall and nobody will find you? Oh, you can't see me.
So-
I did that.
So
here.
maybe somebody's hiding in this photo.
Oh, maybe he is hiding in this photo.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe the blue house.
Don't forget, you're looking for Riley. Finding Riley. That's going to be a new movie coming out. I know it's Saving Private Ryan, but now we've got Finding Riley.
Finding Nemo. Now
Yeah, but
Finding Riley.
Nemo's not as exciting as Riley.
Yeah. Finding Riley.
Oh, that ticket will be expensive.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that'll be a high
And if he
budget.
signs the ticket, it's even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
As
Hollywood
President
star.
Trump would say, it's going to be incredible. It'll be incredible. Incredible.
Incredibly incredible.
It'll be incredibly incredible. Huge. Ginormous. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us. Next week, we start a new series. What's it going to be titled? I forget. But I'll send it out like on this week.
Not
Just
Tuesday.
look for it. Not Tuesday. I might actually send it out early this time around.
Tuesday.
But thanks so
Tuesday
much
morning.
for joining us. Harold, are you going to do the...
we can do that.
Okay,
So-
let's show the
so
folks one
here's
more
photo
time.
number one.
Number one.
So I'm going to
There
take
I
you
went.
out of it. There's that.
I'm going. I can't
Photo
see me.
number two. Photo number three.
I'm here.
And
But then
you're
I'm
gone.
gone.
Photo number four.
I'm here.
Oh, not that one.
Not
That's
that one.
him.
That's too easy.
That was not it. That was what you're looking for.
That's what
but
you're
not
looking
him.
for. Although he may not be upside down.
He will not be there. That's not him.
That's not him. I'm still here at the carnival.
But I'm
too.
trying to get rid of you.
Don't
There
get
you
rid-
go. You're
There I
gone.
go. I'm going.
And I believe this is our last.
Last
photo.
one.
Well, it's right here. So
Watch me go away.
again, this was our opening. Our trivia photo.
Yep.
Our carnival photo.
Yep.
The message photo.
Message photo.
And our final photo.
All right.
And you're back.
And I'm back. So thank you, Ireland, for being Ireland. Okay? Let's thank the towns of Galway, Dublin, Kinsale, and Cork. And no, I didn't say them in the voice because you all have heard me say the voice enough. But thanks again. Signing off. See you next Wednesday. You got a teenager, send him out here. Laura will feed him. We'll have fun with him. Got games in the other room. It'll be a good time. Harold, get us out of here.
Goodbye.